Orphan Orca, saving Springer. January 14, 2002 begins like any other workday in Seattle, Washington. Commuters hurry on their way, the streets are congested, and the ferry plows its daily course across Puget Sound. But today, an unexpected guest joins the morning rush. First spotted by a tugboat captain, a baby orca whale swims dangerously close to the Vashon Island ferry. It is alone, dodging boats in one of the country's most crowded waterways. The orca whale population in the Northwest is declining. Scientists fear that this baby orca may become another casualty. The baby orca appears on the evening news and becomes an instant celebrity. Soon, people in the Seattle area and all over the world are wondering, who is this wayward baby, and where is its mother? A dead adult female orca washes up on the beach in Dungeness, Washington. Could she be the baby orca's mother? NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, is responsible for whales under the Marine Mammal Protection Act. The stranding team gathers samples to determine the cause of death and tries to identify the orca. 3 distinct populations of orcas inhabit the waters of the Pacific Northwest. Offshore orcas eat fish and hunt in a range extending from Queen Charlotte Island to thousands of miles offshore. Transient orcas hunt marine mammals such as seals and otters and range as far as the outer edge of the continental shelf. Resident orcas follow runs of migrating fish into defined coastal areas. Individual whales can be identified by unique markings on the dorsal fin, such as nicks and scars, and the pigmentation of the gray saddle patch at the base of the fin. The shape of the fin helps researchers distinguish between offshore, transient, and resident orcas. An offshore orca's fin is rounded, but has a sharp angle at the rear corner. A transient orca's dorsal fin is pointed. A resident orca's dorsal fin is continuously rounded. The Dungeness whale is identified as a transient. The baby orca eats salmon, which suggests it may be a resident orca. The dead female is not the baby's mother. Resident orca whales live in small family groups called pods. At the heart of the orca pod is the mother whale. A mother and her children, even her adult sons, stay together as a family all their lives. The mother whale passes the traditions and habits of the family along to her offspring. Those matrilines form the structure of all resident orca pods. The pods join together to form extended clans and communities. Resident orcas are organized into 2 distinct communities. Southern resident orcas feed in the waters off the southern half of Vancouver Island and into Puget Sound. The northern resident community travels between Frederick Sound, Alaska, and the Inland Passage of Vancouver Island. In Puget Sound, Ken Balcom from the Center for Whale Research interacts with the small whale, compares the baby's dorsal fin and markings to photographs of the resident community, and determines its sex. The baby is a female.
In the Northwest, we have photo ID efforts, taking pictures of every whale from almost date of birth through their growth phase to maturity. We share our pictures with each other, keep track of every whale, and when we see one missing and it turns up somewhere else, everybody is excited and notifies each other. It's a comprehensive study that's going on from here to Alaska.
The baby's age, sex, and eye patch markings suggest that the little orca may belong to the northern resident community of whales. Each summer, the northern resident community returns to Vancouver Island's Inland Passage. Following the salmon, the orcas congregate at Johnstone Strait. From Orca Lab, a small research station on Hansen Island, marine biologists use underwater microphones to monitor and record orca vocalizations.
Each of the family groups possesses a dialect that's unique to that particular family group. Socially, all of these groups relate to one another. They know each other really well, but they retain their own dialects. These dialects are reflective of a very long period of social stability. And they may very well be part of the glue that keeps the community together.
Using recordings of her squeaks, squeals, and other vocalizations, Orca Lab confirms that the baby girl belongs to a group in the northern resident community called A4 pod. The A4 pod uses 12 discrete calls other killer whales don't. The young orca is a 2-year-old female, A73. The number indicates her birth order in the Canadian A pod. Her nickname is Springer. Springer and her mother, Sutlej, A45, had not returned with their pod the previous summer, so Orca Lab was concerned that both had died. Springer's mother is presumed dead, and 300 miles separates Puget Sound and Johnstone Strait, where the northern resident community will soon arrive to feed on the migrating salmon. Without human intervention, it's doubtful that Springer will ever be able to find her way home. NOAA must make a decision about Springer soon. Some activists want to leave her alone and let nature take its course. They say her capture could kill her or result in a lifetime of captivity. Others argue that unless the whale is captured and her medical needs addressed, she will die a slow and lonely death in Puget Sound. Orca organizations want the whale returned to her pod in Canada, but Canadian maritime officials will not accept her unless she's healthy enough to return to the wild.